Oh, gosh.
So
I got in a real fix the other week, Keith. You wouldn't believe how stupid you can be. But I was letting people in, and for some reason, you know, when it says, click them in, what's it? Admit.
yeah.
For some reason, my admit required a second click on a few entries. In the second session, I'd let 2 or 3 people in. One of the first was Chris. When I let him in, I then clicked record, but I didn't wait to listen for recording or whatever. I just assumed it was recording, and I hadn't clicked it properly.
Oh,
Bloody
what you
stupid.
like.
Can't do 2 things at once.
That's a woman's prerogative, in the Ian.
Well, there you go. Thank you, Ron, for getting me off the hook. I'd impale myself on.
Morning, Keith.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning, everybody.
Morning, both Keiths. Morning.
John's not joining us today. He's gone to the hospital for so, not just a general check, I think. So
Looking a bit dark in your house today, Keith.
you what, sorry?
It's looking a bit dark in your house today.
That's probably because I've got the blinds shut.
Okay.
Dark here.
Got a bit of sun this morning. Been miserable the last few days.
Is that better?
No,
No,
Put
no,
the
we can
blinds
see
shut again.
So, Dave the Beard, I'm not sure whether Dave's going to come on. His son is ill, very ill. He's collapsed, apparently,
yeah.
to do with his heart, and
Oh dear.
is in the Northern General Hospital, and he's not come round.
Oh dear.
So it's been about 3 days now.
Very worrying.
Yeah. I mean, Dave Redfern, he knows
Yeah.
his son.
Yeah. He's not very old either, Keith, is he?
No, he's not. He's, I think, in his 30s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bit of a strange lad.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that. So, I mean, I spoke to Dave yesterday and he thought it would be on, but obviously something might have happened overnight. So,
I'll pop round and see him. I haven't seen him at all.
yeah.
I thought it was because United had lost, but
No. No.
Yeah, he used to that.
He perhaps thought you hadn't been around, Dave, because Wednesday had lost.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, he usually comes past, and
Highly predictable.
yeah.
Both clubs. Hopeless.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning,
Morning,
Jonathan.
Jonathan.
Jonathan, top of the league to you.
And
What-
Dave the Beard's just about to enter.
Oh, well done. Well, let's see how he is.
At least Jonathan will be happy today.
I'm extremely happy.
Yes, I'll bet you are.
Actually, I missed the game because Monica and I were away on holiday for the last 4 days, and it was. I tell you, we were in Malta, and we were doing a bus trip around the top of the island, and we just got to the island or the bay where St. Paul was shipwrecked. And I was taking a picture of this, and then the result came through. When I checked earlier, we'd been a goal down, and suddenly we were 2-1 up, and then 3-1 up. And Monica had to reprehend me for being noisy on the coach.
You used to have a Maltese player, didn't you, as well,
Michael
Jonathan?
Mifsud, absolutely.
Michael Mifsud,
Yes.
yeah.
And we went across to Sleema, not specifically to see where he played, but no, and I think he's still playing. Yeah.
Right.
In fact, the last time we won at Old Trafford in the League Cup about 15 years ago, he scored the winning goal. He was a hell of a
Right.
player. Still playing, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry to speak about other results. I'm sorry that Sheffield United didn't do. And
We-
as for
we were-
Sheffield Wednesday,
We were reft out of it, Jonathan. Absolutely.
really?
Oh, unbelievable.
oh dear.
Unbelievable. You can't describe it.
Oh, really? I haven't read the details.
Mm.
Referees-
Oh, yeah. He gave a penalty against us and the tackle
Oh,
clearly outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was at the game and we thought the defender actually won the ball.
I'm sure he did,
We
because
didn't
the
think
ball
it was
went
even a
towards the
foul.
goalkeeper,
Yeah.
went the opposite way, so how could it, yeah.
Well, there
And
were
then-
a couple of
and I love DR, and it wasn't there. You know, you couldn't have a review. I love those
No,
reviews.
it's
They
right.
always go in our favour.
Well, we had a couple of bad happen events in our game, and our player reportedly, I haven't watched it in detail, Matty Godden just threw himself for the penalty. But then we were a bit unlucky.
Oh, he did.
When with
Did
did he? Yeah.
Yeah.
We were a bit unlucky with the own goal because McFadzean had been impeded in going for the ball. But you know, these things happen, and
Yeah, yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. Oh, the penalty was a blatant dive.
Was it? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I could only see it from behind on the one shot I saw of it. But no, I hear that the commentator said it was disgraceful. Yeah.
Got 6.5 for artistic impression, apparently.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And that was the Russian judge.
It seems like sour grapes, but refereeing just lately has been pathetic.
Well, at
That's all-
Anfield, we can't really complain this weekend.
No,
No, you
Mr.
can't.
Milner was a very lucky boy.
You just keep playing. That's all you can do.
carry on.
Keith,
Yes.
before you get into it, I'm sure John, had he been here, would want to let people know there have been 3 birthdays this week, not least
Yeah.
this month, not least your own. 103. Well done, mate.
103, I know it's I don't look a day over 80,
I
do I?
know. Whatever elixir you're taking, we'll have some.
Yes, you do.
Keep going.
Then it was Lol's on the 4th,
Yeah.
and tomorrow it's Dave Tipper's.
All right.
Dave who?
Tipper?
Yeah,
Tipper. Dave
Tipper.
Tipper. Yeah, right.
You thought you said Kipper, didn't you?
I thought he said keeper.
No.
That's the name of Jonathan's book.
Yeah.
Your
Hey,
hearing
happy
goes when you get
birthday to them
103.
all.
Yes, happy birthday, guys. Keep on going. Keep on going.
Ongoing, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, on Saturday when I went to Bournemouth, the people kept buying me drinks.
Oh, what a shame.
I know. In fact, they bought me that many. I gave some away in the end. I couldn't drink them. But, anyway, it was an enjoyable trip. Spoiled by 90 minutes in the middle.
yeah.
That often happens. at our
Yes,
games.
that's a regular occurrence.
Yeah.
Never
So,
mind.
right. How shall we play? Shall we go for Dave the Beard doing his news of the week, and then we'll do Chris to finish off from last week?
Well, let Chris finish off from last week.
Right. Go on then, Chris.
All right, I'm in. Right, okay.
You're in.
I'm in. Right, hang on. Vice President. Okay, guys, just a few notes really from the last part of the county cricket season. The last time I spoke about the Notts Yorkshire fixture, I think Yorkshire had just finished their innings. They actually got to 396, having only got 73 in their first effort. And I do say to you, it was a pretty heroic sort of rearguard action, mainly down, as I highlighted to the group, mainly down to this fella, Adam Lythe, who scored 153 and seemed to bat for the whole week. It set Notts 173 to win, absolutely critical to win and get 21 points minimum in order to put the heat on Warwickshire, because if Warwickshire didn't go on to beat Somerset, Notts would creep through as runners-up and into the Bob Willis final. So day 3 finished with a few overs bowled at Notts. They were 41 for 1 overnight and needed 132 to win on day 4. I hesitated about going because, if a team only needs 132, but then again, it's the last match of the year, so what the hell, get in the car and go again. Notts duly did win by 5 wickets, so less possibly convincing than you'd have thought when Yorkshire only got 73 in their first knock. Ben Slater for Notts, opening the batting, played particularly well. He was 79 not out, and it looks a thoroughly good young player for Notts. I would mention the sportsmanship of both teams because it's easy to knock professional players. At the end of the game, whilst observing as much social protocols as possible, both teams congratulated each other on a very hard, very fairly played match. And it was evident that all the players had great respect for each other's efforts. Meanwhile, Warwickshire have got an ex-Yorkshire opening bat as the skipper. They've got Tim Bresnan, who is an absolute legend, catching flies and playing very well for them. And they're coached by the former Yorkshire bowler, Mark Robinson. So they had a bit of help from God's country.
Who's the opening back, Chris? Sorry.
Will Rhodes. Yeah, Will Rhodes left Yorkshire about a year ago, was appointed captain, and has had a wonderful season.
Okay,
so they did go on to complete a victory over Somerset in their own game, and therefore pit both Lancashire and Nottinghamshire for their 8th championship title. If you remember, is that me?
No.
If you remember, I mentioned that Notts had failed to get their 3rd batting point in the game when they fell a 4 runs short of 300. If you get 300, you get another batting point. And they didn't do it. They were all out. Well, if is a big word in sport, but if they had got that point by only 4 runs several days before this event I'm talking about, they would have finished second by half a point, not Lancashire. Wow. And Lancashire would not have been at Lord's, and therefore they would have spared us from their horrendous performance against Warwickshire. It was truly a horror story. And Warwickshire, well done to them, won the championship and the Bob Willis Trophy. The Division 1 table finished Warwickshire 77 points, Lancashire 73.5, and Notts 73. So if ever, small, yes, that's me.
How do you get 0.5 of a point?
Oh, don't listen.
Those tables and wondering about it.
Look, don't ask impossible questions because I can't work that one out either. But it's to do with what points you carried over from the regular season. And I'm ever so sorry, Ron. It'd take far too long. So I don't know.
Apparently, got half a win.
You get half a win. Yeah. So they're the rules, such as they are. Now,
well, they carried 5 points over Notts, didn't they? So it was.
That's right.
Became 2.5. Yeah.
That's right. After the victory, Luke Fletcher of Notts was named the PCA's Player of the Season. He was the highest ranked county cricketer in England. He was also the bloke that took the most wickets, 66. Wow. And Luke Fletcher was is a very popular man in cricket. And he was a highly respected opponent of my old club, Retford, in his early career. I did have the, whatever you want to call it, a playing against him. And I know Luke pretty well. And at the end of the game, I asked him if he'd sign his recently published autobiography, which he did with a big smile and a couple of words, and he's autographed it very nicely in the fly cover. So he's a thoroughly good bloke on and off the field, and a well-deserved award. His book, by the way, is called Tales from the Front Line, and it's quite an unusual book. It is full of tales. It's full of things that have happened to him, and it raises a smile or two. It's a good autobiography.
You rent an annex in Keith's loft, Chris, to store all this stuff?
Yeah. I mean, periodically, he and I nip round and swap items in each other's lofts.
Right.
And occasionally we thin it out, but it's only occasionally.
No.
Look, it's only a book. I mean, it didn't take much room off. On leaving the match, I was fortunate. I didn't plan it. You don't plan these things. I just stood on the pavilion, and I ended up in a conversation with both Richard Kettleborough, who several of you will know as an ex-Yorkshire player, and probably the leading umpire in the world, and also the match referee, a man called Tim Boone, who might be slightly less well known to you. Here's a piece of memorabilia from the loft. So in 2005, Tim Boone was the assistant manager of the Ashes winning team under Duncan Fletcher. And if you look at the back left, right at the back left is Tim Boone in this famous England picture of them winning the Ashes. That picture, by the way, is an official picture, because in the official pictures, they have airbrushed out the bottle of Budweiser that Strauss was holding, because they weren't a sponsor. So if you see Budweiser, it's unofficial and real. If you never see Budweiser, it's doctored. Just a small point of trivia for you guys. I had a lovely conversation with Tim Boone, who comes from Retford, and I'm pleased to say he confirmed he's bought a house recently and is going to return to Retford and help local cricketers. I do say to you that Tim would be a brilliant guy on Zoom. So I've got his numbers now, and if you like, I will try and get hold of him and say, Tim, give us a few, about your career, which is fantastic. Played for Yorkshire, Leicestershire, and helped run the team that won the Ashes. I'll try and get him.
It'd be a real boom.
It'd be an absolute boom. God. Other quick notes to finish. Just an interesting stat that I saw. Ollie Pope plays for Surrey and England, good young player. In his final innings for Surrey, he scored 274. If he'd scored 275, he would have averaged 100 for the season.
Wow.
And if his average was only 30, what was it? Hang on, 1 second. It was only 99.4 for the whole season. Coincidentally, that is Don Bradman's batting average in Test match cricket, 99.4.
Yeah, it's a bit like our ball Bradman for a duck, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. He would have averaged 100. But just thought in a game that wasn't significant in some respects, the guy did brilliantly well and fell one run short of 100 average. To finish, I just wanted to mention some retired players, because they go under the radar, and they've all had stellar careers. I did mention to you this fella, the Notts player, Peter Trigo, and Peter posed for that photograph as he left the ground for the last time in his career. Just to say to you, Peter Trigo played 22 years of professional cricket, and he made 540 appearances for Somerset before he joined Notts a couple of years ago. And when he joined Notts, he did win the T20 Blast with Notts. He scored over 18,000 runs and he took 646 wickets. His runs included a 54-ball century against Yorkshire. So top play, goes off to be a professional golfer now, another career. There are two or three people I just mentioned. Ricky Clark. Ricky Clark has retired from all forms of professional cricket. He's 39 years old, plays for Surrey, and he played for England on numerous occasions. He scored nearly 18,000 runs and took nearly 800 wickets in his career. He also caught 587 catches, which is quite a staggering amount of catches, mainly in the slips, which is quite a statistic. And he goes on now to be head of cricket at a King Edward School in, is it Whitley? Pronounced Whitley. And he does that within probably the next few days. A very famous county cricketer retired called Darrell Mitchell, Worcestershire. He only ever played for Worcestershire. And he's 37. He made his debut in 2005. He scored 14,000 runs, mainly as an opening batsman. And he has the distinction of being the only Worcestershire player ever to take 100 wickets in limited overs cricket. He is a former chairman of the PCA, and he goes now to take up a full-time administrative job in the PCA. And if he helps the PCA like he played cricket, they've got a good one. An Essex player has retired called Ryan Tenduscarter. Has anyone heard of Ryan Tenduscarter?
Yeah.
Tenduscarter was South African born. He's 41 years of age. And he played for Essex from 2003, scoring over 17,000 runs. He's been their captain. When he was first captain, they won promotion. The following year, they won the league county championship. 2 years after that, they won it again. He's also won the Bob Willis Trophy. He's an international player because he represents the Netherlands. And he actually, although he's retired from county cricket, he has been selected and he will be playing in the World Cup in a few months' time for the Netherlands. His highest career score was scored for the Netherlands against Canada in South Africa. He made 259, and on 3 occasions, he's the ICC Associate Player of the Year. He's also won the IPL twice with the Kolkata Knight Riders. I read that out as if I really know something about the IPL. I've never heard of it, but there we go. He did very well. Sorry about that. And the final player to mention who's retired is Varun Chopra, also of Essex. He made 425 appearances and scored nearly 18,000 runs with 34 centuries, again, mainly as an opening bat, which is an outstanding achievement, and won various things. And so he's retired. Well, that's it, guys, from the roving broadcast of Trent Bridge, which seems like 3.5 months ago already. But you'll forgive me for mentioning my team. So there's my team. And I can confirm now that we're not the champions. We are the runners-up. And so we're very proud of being the runners-up. And we're not challenging any further decisions. And we're very pleased with the performance of all the team to win promotion to the Bassett Law League Second Division. That's it, mate. I'm up to date, and I hope there was a few things there of interest.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Bravo, thanks, Chris.
Cheers, guys.
Right, thanks, Chris. So, quite a bit to go up there. So, we'll move swiftly on.
You know, Keith, sorry, you know what they say? Cricket takes a long time to play, but it takes even longer to talk about.
Yeah, that's very true. Right, so we'll move swiftly on to Dave. Dave, before you go into it, any news on Stephen yet?
No, not yet. He had a scan yesterday and got the results today. So
right,
that's
good thinking about you, Dave.
Yeah. Right, okay, Dave. So away you go.
Well, subject to start with. Sadly, starting with the news of the death of Liverpool legend Roger Hunt at the age of 83, the second highest Liverpool goal scorer with 285 goals. And he is behind,
Ian
who's
Rush.
the number one?
Ian Rush.
Correct, yeah. In 492 appearances, Roger Hunt got those goals. Nicknamed Sir Roger, he made his debut for Liverpool in 1959 and spent 11 seasons at Anfield. He won the First Division title in 1964 and 66, with the FA Cup sandwiched in between in 65. He scored 41 goals in 41 games in the Reds, as the Reds won promotion to the First Division in 61-62. He also won 34 caps for England, scoring 18 times. He played in all of England's 6 games in the 1966 World Cup, scoring 3 goals. And unfortunately is now the 6th 1966 World Cup winner to pass away since May 2018, leaving just Bobby Charlton, Jeff Hurst and George Coyne being the only 3 surviving members from the team that started against West Germany in the final. Little bit, probably Wednesday supporters seen this, but I did miss it the other week, and I don't want you to think I'm biased. Sadly, Len Ashurst, ex-Sheffield Wednesday manager, passed away at the age of 82. He started his playing career at Sunderland before becoming the player manager at Hartlepool, then went to Gillingham before moving to Hillsborough in the 75-76 season. And he was the manager when the Owls beat Southend to narrowly avoid relegation to the old 4th Division. He left the Owls in 77 and then went on to have further managerial and coaching roles at home and abroad.
Right.
Weekend's results in the Premiership left Chelsea a point clear at the top after beating Southampton. There were also wins for dirty Leeds, Wolves, Brentford and Spurs. I'll say that one quick. All the other fixtures ended in draws, including the match between Liverpool and Manchester City. Watford's defeat at dirty Leeds led to the sacking of their manager, and Claudio Ranieri is now back in the Premiership as he takes over at Watford. Jonathan, I hadn't forgot about you. I had got written down about Coventry. And I put what a strange week.
Yeah.
5-0 at Luton, and then go and beat Fulham 4-1 to go back third.
I think we were asleep against Luton. We were looking forward to the Fulham game and thought we could just coast it against Luton, and got a very rude surprise indeed.
Champions League. There were wins for Liverpool and Man United in the second matches at the group stage, while there were defeats for Man City at PSG and Chelsea at Juve. The most surprising defeats, though, were for Real Madrid at home to Sheriff Tiraspol of Moldova by 2-1, and for Barcelona, who lost 3-0 away to Benfica. Athletics. Caesar Lemma from Ethiopia won the London Marathon in a time of 2 hours, 4 minutes, 1 second. And he was 27 seconds clear of the second runner. However, he was prevented from standing on the podium as a COVID precaution, with his agent taking his place. In the women's race, Kenya's Jocelyn, and I can't even read my own writing now. Anyway, sorry, Kenya.
Make it up.
Yeah, I can say nobody will know.
We'll not know.
Pichogi.
That's it. Looking at it. One crossing the line in 2 hours, 17 minutes, 43 seconds. She had chosen to run in the London Marathon instead of defending her New York title. The first British finisher in the men's race was junior doctor Phil Seseman from Leeds, and on his 29th birthday, and running in his first marathon, finishing 7th in a time of 2 hours, 12 minutes, 58 seconds. The unsponsored athlete was the leading finisher from outside of Ethiopia and Kenya. So did really well. And just a quick question. Anybody know who does he train with?
Trains with his dog. He
Dog.
was on TV last night.
Yeah, his 2 dogs.
He was on Look North last night.
Ah,
Tired dick dog.
I'm not a genius with secret knowledge. I just saw him on TV.
Oh, you are, Ron. You are, Ron.
You are on.
right, you watched it. What were the names?
Kipchoge.
Kipchoge and
Highly, yeah.
Kylie. That's it. Yeah.
And named after 2 marathon runners, well, long distance runners anyway.
Wait, since when has Kylie been in athletics?
Kylie.
With a H.
Oh,
Well, I don't know, Keith. I think she's fit.
yeah.
My daughter did it in 4 hours 40, Paul.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
She found the last mile very difficult. My son was keeping me informed because he's got this fabulous app that tracks them. You know,
Yeah,
you
man,
put their
it works.
running number. She was 11993, and it tracks their progress. And we were sort of keeping in touch, and because I think you're only allowed one relative there to keep the
Supposedly.
numbers down. And she went through all the nausea that you forewarned she would have to go through with the test and what have you. And we've got a picture of her coming back on the train to Surbiton, absolutely whacked. Absolutely finished. But she enjoyed it. She raised a lot of money too, which a lot of them did, of course.
Well done to her, yeah.
Yeah. Good day.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave.
In the women's event, the first Brit home was Charlotte Purdy in the 4th fastest time by a British woman of 2 hours, 25 minutes and 38 as she finished 10th in the women's race. Cycling, Britain's Joss Loudon has broken the UCI hour record by covering a distance of 48.405 kilometres at the Grenchen Velodrome in Switzerland. She added 398 metres to the previous mark of 48.007 kilometres. Boxing, Tyson Fury's trainer has revealed that he will weigh in 20 pounds heavier for his 3rd fight with Deontay Wilder when he defends his WBC title in Las Vegas this Saturday. Chris Eubanks Jr. had his fight due to take place last Saturday cancelled. Originally due to fight Sven Elbier, who pulled out due to a positive COVID test. The replacement, Anatoly Muratov, also had to pull out as a result of the British Boxing Board of Control raising concerns over his pre-fight medicals.
It's staggering, isn't it, how these athletes are picking up this virus? I know it's easily caught, but, you know, with all the care the support staff are taking, it's still catching a lot of folk out, particularly at the top level.
There's too many of them not got, not been vaccinated.
Yes, that's true.
Is it 50% of Premier League players aren't vaccinated?
I think it's more than
Something
that.
like
isn't
that.
it?
Yeah, I mean, why? Why? What's
Because they're worried that the side effects afterwards will weaken them for a little while. In some cases, some people do have a negative effect, and it will affect performance.
Jurgen says 99% of the Liverpool team have been vaccinated. So who's the so-and-so that hasn't been?
Jurgen.
Yes.
Yeah, Jurgen.
But they could have 5 of the England players missing for the World Cup if they don't get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Apparently at the moment.
Jurgen's in a right pickle. He doesn't like the decision they've made to let people be released to red list countries. But, you know, it's because, as you say, they're not taking the vaccinations, I guess, or something.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. They shouldn't be going, but
I don't think. I think, you know, when you're talking about athletes who are honed to that level of perfection, you don't piss the product down the stream by just putting it into danger. You actually say, this is a product. I know it sounds business oriented, but this is a product like Salah that's worth a lot of money. You don't go and offer it to an environment that's, you know, likely to deteriorate the product.
Quite.
It's
go
nonsense.
on.
Sorry, end of rant.
Right, yeah.
Racing, the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe
Sorry,
was won
Dave.
by the German train 72-1 outsider, Torquay Tasso, to become the biggest outsider to win the race since the German trained Star Appeal, ridden by Greville Starkey at 118-1 in 1975.
All the smart money was going on the Japanese horse, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave, before you move on, there was another boxing story. Apparently, British boxer Joe Joyce is claiming that he should be awarded the gold medal from the Olympics.
Yeah.
Clearly.
There's been some score manipulation.
Yeah.
Rio.
Sponsored by
Surprise.
investigators.
Keith,
20 different bouts.
Keith, they were cheating.
Yeah.
And it was the Russians.
Yeah.
Funny old thing.
Oh, there's a surprise.
Apparently, the judges were given tubes of toothpaste stuffed with money. I'm not quite sure how you do that, but that's apparently what they were supposed to have got.
Squeezing last penny out, were they?
Some of the fights were decided over breakfast between the judges.
Bit like wrestling.
Yeah, seriously.
Wow. Not good. I think the referee we had on Saturday, that's what he did.
Well, Bournemouth have got a Russian owner, haven't they?
Oh,
I don't think Joyce will get the gold medal because some of the bouts were not in the final. So what do you do about the poor guys who lost out in earlier rounds? It's easy in a final, but you know, if somebody lost out earlier on and they should have won, you can't have the fights again to see where they should have been.
no, but if you've got through to the final by whatever means and you cheated in the final, then
Can't win the gold.
yeah, you should be given the gold. But
It would open up a can of worms, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
anyway, we're less than a minute to go. So Dave will do part 2 after the break.